The Colorado Avalanche are a bubble team and have been for the past couple of seasons, just missing out on the playoffs each of the last 2 years. The Avalanche is a team that is loaded with potential, but fans and players alike are getting tired of hearing about potential. The team needs to take a step forward next season and get back into the playoffs before the already emotionally fragile fan base explodes into even more drama than one might find in a weekend detention session. For this to happen, several Avalanche players are going to need to play much more consistently. I'm Kevin from the Burgundy Brigade, and here's some Avalanche players that have to step it up in the 2016-17 season. 1. Jarome Iginla. It appears that the Avalanche aren't going to be able to move Jarome Iginla before the start of the next season, and it's not a huge surprise with the whole no-movement clause and everything. So, knowing that he is going to be a member of the roster and even possibly back in the top 6, he's easily one of the most important players that has to step it up. Now, Iginla did lead the Avalanche in power play goals in the 2015-16 season with 13, but that was about the only thing that he did well. Iginla had only 9 even-strength goals all season long, which is just bad, for lack of a better word. Iginla's game fell off so sharply last season, it kind of reminded me of Wile E. Coyote falling very slowly but steadily off the cliff. Father Time very clearly began to get to him, and I cannot imagine that Iginla will spend the whole season playing on the second line, especially if he plays at the same level he did most of last season. Iginla must be better. 2. Nathan MacKinnon. Nathan MacKinnon just inked a brand new 7-year extension, which is fantastic for both him and the Avalanche. He's only just finished his 3rd season, so he gets a little bit of a pass on his inconsistency. That being said, it's time for him to start putting it all together. Year 4 for Nathan MacKinnon could and should be a huge one. If he does start taking those next steps, it should help push the Avs back into the playoffs. 3. Semyon Varlamov. Wait, hold on. How can you say Varley needs to step it up? I mean, the guy has been the team's best player and has been totally left out to dry to face everything, including the kitchen sink, all by himself. Yes, there is no doubt that he has had to do a ton of the heavy lifting for the Avalanche over the past few seasons, but there were definitely more than a few instances in the past year where Varlamov just plain wasn't good enough. Some resulting from bad defense, but more than enough resulting from just poor play on his part as well. He has also dealt with a couple injuries over the past 2 years that made him miss significant stretches of time, so staying healthy is a big thing for him too. No, he shouldn't have to go all Luke Skywalker and take down the Death Star all by himself. Yes, I'm a nerd, get over it, but Varley needs to make certain that he's making the stops he really should be making, and I bet he would be the first person to tell you this. 4. Cody McLeod. Oh, now I've gone and done it. Say anything bad about Cody McLeod and you can count on having a throng of Avalanche fans descend upon you like several hungry jaguars just awoken from their sleep. Darn squirrels and their stupid balloon animals. Anywho, the argument is always the same. You have to keep Cody because he's a leader and a great locker room guy who leads by example, blah, 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 blah. That's all well and good, but Highlander's leadership frequently ends up with him trying to fight somebody, maybe winning, maybe not, and then maybe playing a total of 8 minutes a game. At the end of the day, especially in today's NHL, character is all well and good, but if you aren't contributing on the score sheet, then you are hurting your team far more than you are helping them. Cody McLeod had a total of 8 goals and 13 points last season. 5 goals and 6 of his points came in November. So from December to the end of the season last year, McLeod scored 3 goals and tallied a total of 7 extra points. Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. Character aside, he's got to do something, anything better than that to continue justifying a roster spot on the Avalanche. Yes, there's more ways to lead than just scoring, but he doesn't get enough ice time to do those things. Essentially, the way McLeod leads is by fighting a lot, something that might not be able to happen too much anymore if the league goes the direction it appears that they are with the new fighting rules. Yes, he's a fourth-line player and can't be expected to put up a ton of points, but 13 points in 82 games? Come on now. Pick it up, Highlander. 5. Tyson Barrie. Fresh off his brand new contract, Tyson Barrie has been a pretty good player. Mostly. Over the past 2 seasons, Barrie has tallied 54 and 49 points and comes in as the 7th best defenseman when it comes to scoring over the past 2 years in the NHL. So what does he have to prove, right? Well, as you might remember from the video about why the Avalanche shouldn't trade Tyson Barrie, click the link, just do it, Barrie still has to put the defensive side of his game together, or continue to do so. He's definitely made strides in this area, but there are times when Barrie simply doesn't do much from a defensive perspective. Sometimes this has to do when he is caught out against much physically superior performers. The guy is only 5'10" after all. And other times he is just his own worst nightmare and tries to force the puck and ends up turning the puck over. He's still young, so some of this is to be expected, especially from a young defenseman. But another year and a nice new contract, it's time to start putting all these things together. But if he does, then the world had better watch out. 6. Gabriel Landeskog. Oh, Captain, my Captain, Carpe Diem, seize the day, all that other inspirational stuff from Dead Poet Society. Anywho, Gabriel Landeskog is the Avalanche captain. He's also one of the players who is the most inconsistent. He goes through streaks of games where he is dominant, dynamic, and just plain unstoppable. He's at his best when he's hitting everything that moves and is shooting from everywhere. The problem with Landy is that he goes through long stretches of time where he just stops doing all the things that makes him successful. To make things worse, he seems to get more of a free pass than any of the Avalanche players on the roster. Maybe it's because he's the captain. Maybe it's because he's the member of the Avalanche most likely to be mistaken for an Avenger. Or maybe it's because his hair is so magical. You kind of go into a trance when you look at it. Whoa. Sorry about that. But look at it this way. People have been demanding the Avalanche trade Matt Duchene because he hadn't scored 30 goals. Then he scored 30 goals, kinda celebrated, and people were pissed at him again. Coach Waugh threw him under the bus, saying that it was a terrible choice of his to do. Landeskog hasn't shown that he's any more elite than Duchene, and he played his best brand of hockey, his most consistent brand of hockey, his rookie season. When people say about your captain that he can regain the form of his rookie year before he's 24, and that is actual analysis I've read about him, that isn't a good thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't advocate that the Avalanche do anything crazy like trading Landeskog. He is an important part of the team, but he's got to be more consistent than he has been, and that absolutely cannot be denied. That's our list. Did we leave anything out? Let us know in the comments or let us know on our various social media platforms. I'm Kevin from the Burgundy Brigade. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.